Welcome back to my channel, viewers all over the world. Yeah, welcome back. As I said, my name is Ekene Kengo. I share spiritual tips. So I share my spiritual tips based on our tradition, the way we do things in those days. We are not diabolic and they are not fetish. We do things with natural things, those natural things that God give to the humanity. That's what we used, and the way we call it tradition or cultural science. So we combine those things and it will come up to become spiritual, and you can use it to solve any spiritual problem you have. Today's topic is all about advice and precautions about some of you. You know, a lot of things that are trending in this period where people call themselves Ezewan, people call themselves Ezemoke. Some people become the river goddess, and those areas that we are going, you have to be spiritual. You have to be, you have to cook yourself to be more spiritual before embarking some journey. So I feel that is very necessary to give this advice for those of you who follow those spiritual goddess or those spiritualists that go all the way to the riverside to offer some sacrifice. Going to riverside to offer sacrifice is a very, very strong spiritual exercise that can invoke every spiritual things in this river to solve your problem quite right. But you have to apply some spiritual caution, because some of you doesn't know the procedure, some of you doesn't know how to go about it. Before you know it, you find yourself in trouble. Some of you can run mad, become mental. You have a mental problem due to something you do not investigate and find out the way of how to do it. How to go about it is very important. So I find it that it's very important for me to bring this information for those of you, because the spiritual leader that is taking you to the river may not be able to inform you, to properly give you the orientation on how to go to Riverside in the midnight. So I don't practice that actually, but I want to give advice for those of you who might visit their spiritual advisors and eventually she asks you, because I know that mostly is women that embark in such journey. Maybe you want to go and do spiritual bathing in the midnight in the river, or you want to go and offer some sacrifice in the river, you want to go and pray in the river. So when doing that, take this precaution, very, very important. Number one, in case if the person do not tell you, you have to be very, very mindful of this. You have to, take your own security measures and precautions by yourself, because most of them might not remember to tell you. Now, some people say I talk so much. Let me go straight to the point. Some of my subscribers, they have attacked me several times, saying you talk too much. I'm sorry, I try to minimize it this time around. Now, what you do whenever you are embarking on any visitation to the river for sacrifice, for anything, first of all, after finishing the prayer, after finishing every sacrifice you want to do in the river, make sure that anytime you turn your back for departure, don't ever you look back. Number one, if you forget, there's items mostly people use to go to river for prayer. Number one, bell. Small bell is involved. Maybe your phone, whatever you go there to do the sacrifice, and eventually you forgot that item there, or even your key, or whatever. In fact, your phone, the phone is very important. Eventually you forget that you leave your phone on the ground, and eventually you forget it, and you feel like, oh, you remember. Please, even if you remember, still focus. Don't turn your head, because by the time if you look back, it have a very, very serious spiritual implication. Number one, my brother, so that's why some people doesn't know where their problem is coming from. So after finishing any sacrifice or any spiritual prayer or exercise in the river, whenever you forgot something there, do not turn back to go and pick it. Do not even turn back to look back. Go straight, focus, and make sure that you go straight and go home. Do not come back or do not look back. Or if you hear any sound in the river, do not look back. Number one, the spiritual implication of it is, number one, it will make you to have a little mental disorder. It will make every sacrifice, every exercise that you come to, all the prayer that you come there to do will not be effective, will not work. Number three, anything that you speak against, all the whole prayer that you said, or all your wishes that you pleaded in that river as you pray, they will turn against you. The thing will reverse. If, for example, if you are praying to make money, you are praying for open door, the door will lock, the door will block. You will not make money again. You become more poorer. If you are praying for success, before you know it, you will go down because of looking back, or because you go back after the sacrifice or after the prayer. So it's very important for those of you who engage in going to the riverside for any sacrifice, because I see a lot of you that used to carry Fanta to riverside. I used to see it on the social media where you are using Fanta to do sacrifice in the river. It works for those who believe on it, but you have to take this precaution very, very serious. After pouring your Fanta and do all whatever you come there to do, please do not look back. Whenever you finish all your incantation or your prayer and you are departing, do not come back or look back. Or when you hear any noise, because there's a lot of things spiritually, because when you are leaving the riverside, one spiritual things, maybe spiritual fish, might be going to make a very serious noise on the river. Please do not look back. Do not even try to look back to see what's happened, because a lot of spiritual implication is involved. As I said, all the prayers or the sacrifice you did will become returned against you. If you are not lucky, you might have a little mental disorder. You might have a little mental disorder, and if you are looking for success, you will come down. You will not become successful, you will become poorer. If you are praying for one contract or the other, you missed a contract because of looking back. So be mindful whenever you go for river sacrifice, whenever you go for river prayer. So I beg you, try as much as possible to avoid some of these things. And secondly, any items you go for river sacrifice, make sure that you drop it completely. Don't take some, go back. Please, I'm giving you all this advice because some of your spiritual mother or the Ezewani or whoever that is taking you for the sacrifice sites may not tell you all this thing. Better still, when you have such spiritual work to do, buy the whole item, give your Ezewani to do it for you. Don't go with the Ezewani, because some of them will not tell you this. They will not tell you this, so that at the end of it, you keep bringing the items, you keep patronizing them, so that a lot of precaution need to be done over there. So I will tell you more of how to go about it, what and what that should not be on your body when also going for river for any prayer or any sacrifice. That will come to another video. So how your body, or what should not be on your body, and how holy you should be when, and what you should put on when going to river sacrifice or prayer. Thank you for being there for me. I pray for you that this year will be a good year for all of us. I think we have this ending. This is the end of January. January always hard in the first year. Then we are going to enter February, and everything will be okay for you. So thank you. Share my video to your friends. There's a lot to learn from this channel, because I share spiritual tips, and I give advice how to go about your spiritual life, and how to go about every sacrifice you want to do spiritually, and every prayer you want to do, every spiritual exercise. I give advice on it. So thank you for being there. And also I have a lot of video to bring how to use coconut water for prayer, how to use your wife urine for prayer, how to use coconut to bless your children, how to use all those natural things to become successful, and things will begin to work good for you. I'm going to bring it one after the other. As we enter February, you'll be getting this spiritual information one by one that will help you to succeed this year, and so shall it be for you. I pray for you. It shall succeed, shall succeed, shall succeed in AK, it shall succeed in Uri, it shall succeed in Afo, it shall succeed in Paul, it shall succeed, so shall it be for you. He say